First at 4, the big dig. Parts of Metro Detroit buried under double-digit snow totals. Schools closed. We've got team coverage. Paula.
Hey, Karen, we sure did have our first big major snowstorm of the season. So how do we do? Well, the snow seems to be handled, but Ben, the temperatures sure seem to be dropping.
Paula, you are going to need that coat for a while as we're looking at an Arctic chill that'll settle in on top of the snow. We'll see how cold it's going to get. Karen.
But at first, a snow day tragedy. Detroit police say a 13-year-old boy home from school because of the snow is shot to death. We have breaking news first at 4. Police say that teenager is dead after what appears to be an accidental shooting. They also say they're frustrated because it appears to be the result of a gun owner who failed to properly secure their weapon. Local 4's Guy Gordon is live this afternoon in Detroit. Guy, this obviously is tragic anytime this occurs, but especially before the holidays.
Right before the holidays, Karen. And I got to tell you, police are upset, the families are upset, everybody, as you can imagine. Look, if not for all this heavy snow, these kids would have been in school. None of this would have happened. But you had 4 buddies, 15, 14, 2 13-year-olds, all gathering at this house. 2 of the boys lived here. They were going to play some video games, and that's what they were doing. When one of the young men that lives here, one of the residents, went upstairs and retrieved his grandmother's handgun. It apparently was not in a safe. It was not in a trigger lock. According to police, it was on the nightstand. He brought it downstairs where the rest of the boys were. We're not clear what happened next. The original story was the young man shot himself. Now it appears the gun may have been held by another.
We're trying to piece it together. Again, it's 4 kids with a gun. Don't know if they were playing with it, what was going on. It accidentally discharged, and 13-year-old shot. He's dead.
Now, police are not releasing the identity of that 13-year-old. As I said, he attended down here at Sampson Weber Academy, so there's going to be grief counselors there tomorrow. There will also be peer counselors for the police that came here. They tried to do CPR. EMS arrived. They tried to bring him back. There was nothing they could do. He died at Henry Ford, which is just a few blocks away from here. A lot of unanswered questions about where that gun was, whether it was secured. The early report now is that it was on the nightstand. We're going to continue to sort that out for you because that could lead to criminal charges for the grandmother who was in this home. She was not taken into custody. She's still at her home with her daughter and the other children. The boys are downtown right now being questioned. We're live on the city's west side. I'm Guy Gordon, Local 4. Karen, we'll have more for you at 5 o'clock.
Oh, heartbreaking on so many different levels for that family. All right, Guy Gordon. Our other big story of the day, it is time to clean up after the first major snowstorm of the season, and we are dealing with a mixed bag of winter woes. Taking a look at where things stand right now, schools are closed all over Metro Detroit. Families waiting to see if they'll reopen tomorrow. At least 1 person in Canton died while he was snow blowing. It's always good to be careful and take breaks while shoveling. Major roads were pretty clear by the morning rush hour, but plenty of people are digging out their driveways, and snow plows have struggled with the heavy snowfall. So let's bring in Paula Tutman. She's been out in Oakland County all day long following the big dig. Oh, Paula, I have to admit, you are properly dressed for the day.
Oh, yes. You know, when you live in Michigan, you make friends with the seasons or you suffer for the majority of the year. This is kind of what the majority of neighborhood streets look like. You see these guys going down this street. They're not having much trouble, but there's a hill right around the corner, and if you've got back wheel drive, then you're having a little bit of difficulty getting up that hill. We've been measuring snow totals all over Waterford all day. Right here, it says about 9.5 inches, and that's kind of what we're finding, between 9.5 and 10.5 inches. I got to tell you, there's a mixture of great fun being had, but also some pretty good commerce. 9 to 10 inches of snow. It's a major snow event, and a great snow event if you happen to be a kid. Or a contracted snow mover. Snow means pushing, and pushing means commerce. And last year, while there was steady salting work,
we got our snows, but, you know, it didn't stay. You know, a lot of it melted, went away, then, you know, another week later, then we get a couple more inches and then go back out and do a push again.
we didn't have a snowy winter, and that meant less snowplow work. Now, could this year be different? Well, honestly, anybody with a truck with a plow in front of it says they sure hope so. Of course, 3 to 4 inches is a little easier to handle than what's on the ground today.
Easier on your trucks because you don't have to tear them up going back and forth.
The guys at Lunghammer Buick GMC on Highland Road can't think of a better commercial for their working trucks than to push their own snow. Again, great with the right equipment, but how about this? A lot tougher if you're the guy with just a shovel.
Yesterday it was nice and light and zipped right through it, but today it's a little heavier.
This snowfall is heavy and it is wet, even with a snowblower. This is what's called widowmaker snow, because even with a snowblower, breathing that blowing snow or pushing it hard, then go back to that shovel. If you're not in great condition, you can overtax the heart. And let's face it, Michiganders in this part of the state are a little rusty. And so it really does take a bit to get our snow legs back and in proper working order.
Like with the shovel. This way I don't have to bend over. I can stand up and I don't have the pressure pushing on my heart. And little bits and pieces.
Yeah, you know what? You've got to take this stuff seriously, and you really have to be smart about it. You can see that the snow is already starting to degrade. It's not as heavy and wet as it was, but still, it can be very, very dangerous. And also, Karen, I had a little bit of snow brain. I said back wheel drive. I meant rear wheel drive. Please don't send emails. I really did know that.
I actually was about to email you myself, Paula. No, just kidding.
I know you were.
You know, I probably would have. All right. Thank you, Paula. Appreciate it. Time now for our first look at the forecast. I guess the good news in all this, Ben, the temperature is above freezing, so I guess a little bit it's melting.
We did get above freezing, but anything that did melt today is going to refreeze again tonight, and that's not going to be good. But, you know, considering some of these high-end totals that we saw, the road crews did a remarkable job, especially on the main roads. 11 inches plus from Mount Clemens, White Lake, Ann Arbor, Sterling Heights, even the northern end of Oakland County there in Lakeville, 11 inches. But we didn't quite see 12. Not that anybody cares, and not that we were looking to break that record or that mark, but we didn't quite get there. Temperatures right now are right around 30 degrees. We got just a little bit higher earlier today. But these are going to be some of the warmest numbers that we see for the next 10 days. Temperatures will start dropping tonight. The real Arctic blast arrives on Thursday and Friday. We'll look at some of those credible numbers for that. And Saturday, our next big system arrives, so we'll start talking about whether or not we're going to be shoveling again by the weekend. It's all in a few minutes. Karen?
All right, Ben, and you can track the forecast online. That is the best place also to double check those school closings. Just go to clickondetroit.com and look right on the homepage. Breaking news, a suspect was arrested and is expected to be arraigned at the 48th District Court within the hour in connection to the death of Diana Pesserell, who was shot and found in a burning car in West Bloomfield on Friday. The car was found burning behind the vacant Pine Lake Elementary School. We do expect to learn more about the suspect very soon, and we'll bring that to you. Farmington Hills police are searching for a pair of armed robbers and home invaders. Police believe 2 men have committed at least 3 invasions of apartments over the last 2 weeks and in 2 cases pointed a gun at residents. The late-night invasions took place at the Citation Club apartments, the Roll Crest condominiums, and the Timber Ridge apartments. Jewelry and purses were taken. The residents were not injured. President-elect Donald Trump faces a major battle with Congress and the CIA just weeks before he takes the oath of office. Even fellow Republicans are standing up to the next commander-in-chief. Devin Skillion is in the newsroom tracking this growing controversy. Devin.
Yeah, Karen, in fact, the president-elect has to do with concerns about Russia interfering in this year's presidential election. And top intelligence agencies have been saying for weeks that evidence does point to Russian interference, but Trump has been critical of those findings, and the president-elect really fanned the flames of this controversy over the weekend when he called the allegations about Russia, in his words, ridiculous. The CIA recently concluded, as they put it with high confidence, that Russia did seek to influence the U.S. election. President Obama has asked for a full review of Russia's alleged role, and now the top Republican in the U.S. Senate says he supports an investigation into any cyber breaches involving Russia, and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell also expressed support for the CIA.
I have the highest confidence in the intelligence community and especially the Central Intelligence Agencies. The CIA is filled with selfless patriots, many of whom anonymously risk their lives for the American people.
Now, all of this comes as President-elect Trump is also defending the chairman of ExxonMobil as his potential pick for the next Secretary of State. Rex Tillerson has long had close ties to Russia, drawing more criticism from Democrats and Republicans alike. Trump could make his choice public for Secretary of State sometime this week. Of course, we'll continue to follow. Karen, back to you.
All right, we'll see you at 5. Thank you, Devin. More news ahead. Ben Bailey tracking the next winter problem headed our way. You definitely want to be prepared. Also, Elton John announces a contest involving some of his greatest hits. Thousands of dollars are up for grabs, but up first, Kimberly Gill has good health.
Hi, Karen. We have new research on breast cancer revealing one thing women can do to increase their odds of survival and a potential shortcut to cutting calories. Good health is coming up next on First at 4.
Kidnapped. Coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
A man was hit and killed in this area here on 10 Mile and Huron Avenue in Ferndale. And now police and family members of the victim need your help finding the driver who did it.
This is happening way too much to families. It's got to stop.
Hear more from the victim's mother on Local 4.
All right, Coco, in good health, surviving breast cancer. Kimberly Gill is here with some new research today showing what you can do to increase your chances to actually beat the disease that affects so many people.
You're right. And this is all about social interaction and social support from as many people as possible. So doctors at Kaiser Permanente followed more than 9,000 women with breast cancer for 10 years, and it found socially isolated women had a 40% higher risk of the cancer coming back and 70% higher risk of death than women who kept active social lives. The findings differed on what kind of social interaction worked best, but this study shows that getting support from someone can really make a big difference.
We're also hearing about a shortcut that could actually help us cut calories, which is always good to know.
It is good to know, and this one actually might surprise some folks. We have a study from the University of Copenhagen that found eating foods such as peas and beans might actually help with weight loss. So many people might think eating meals with protein such as pork and veal will help you feel fuller. But this study found eating legumes such as beans and peas was actually more satisfying. Researchers found participants who ate the beans and peas actually consumed 12% fewer calories in their next meal. While more research is needed, though, this supports the idea that vegetable-based meals might actually help with long-term weight loss. And it's all about, feeling full so that you don't overeat. So
well, I've been doing adding beans to like my salad and even my eggs things that's a good idea. It's kind of different.
Yeah, right? If it works, honey.
If it works, try it. One of my recipes, my many. Just kidding, of course. The storm system that dropped all that snow in Michigan moved to the east overnight. Parts of Massachusetts were dealing with the slower commutes this morning, while the storm brought only about 4 inches of snow to some areas around Boston. Temperatures have already risen to the 40s, setting the stage for a slushy afternoon commute. As far as our commute goes this afternoon, though, pretty clear. I was on the Lodge and I-75 and I-96 today, and they really did a good job of getting everything out of the way for those big roads.
Yeah, I mean, we had plenty of advance notice, and as we talked about last week, the system really didn't change all that much. We got slightly more snow than what we were expecting, but only, the difference between 7, 8, 9 inches, it's all an event, and those crews did do a pretty remarkable job overnight of getting rid of that, at least on the major roads, and now those side streets and subdivisions are the next thing that everybody's going to be tackling. Current temperatures outside 31 degrees at Metro. You can see the 20s already starting to make their way here in the northern and northwestern section of the area. But the winds are noticeable, so wind chills are in the teens in a good chunk of the area. 17 is how it feels in Pontiac. Downtown closer to about 21 or 22 for that wind chill. So you look back out to the west and you think, uh-oh. Excuse me, here we go again. I got all choked up there. Snow starting to show up just north of the Twin Cities on the east side of Duluth. That is just ahead of a cold front, and as it works its way here, it's going to lose a lot of that moisture. So if we see anything tomorrow, we're probably just going to see a stray flurry and maybe a quick snow shower. Should not be any accumulation out of that. And then once we get through the day on Tuesday, the actual front will pass through probably closer to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And behind that, the sinking air is going to really clear out those clouds pretty quickly. So we may even see some late sunshine in our west and north zones, but those temperatures, that's going to be the story. Sharply falling as we head into Thursday and Friday especially, and the winds that go along with it, just not going to be good, especially for this time in December. Metro zone temperatures tonight, 18 in Southfield, 21 in Detroit. Downriver, we're going to be in the upper teens for lows. And in our south zone, we'll look at low temperatures tonight, anywhere between about 17 in Tecumseh, 19 in Blissfield. May hold on to the 20s closer to Lake Erie, but those are going to be some of the more mild numbers that we see. West zone, 18 in Flint, 19 in Brighton. Howell will be at 19. In fact, most of the zone will be at 19 degrees. And same goes for the north zone tomorrow. Coldest will be up in Sandusky at 18, but not much different all the way down to M59 for low temperatures by the time we start tomorrow morning. Highs will be very similar to that number that we got today, just slightly cooler as we go to 31. Again, a couple flakes possible, but nothing significant, definitely considering what we went through this weekend. Look at these temperatures over the next few days. 19 for that high temperature on Wednesday. Thursday at 16. We start recovering somewhat into Friday, but really those morning lows, single digits with wind chills below zero as we close out the work week. Karen?
Hollywood buzzing today about the Golden Globe nominations, including a show of support for a new NBC show. That story is trending this afternoon. Also, Elton John fans are in for a big treat. 3 of his greatest hits will feel brand new in 2017. I'll explain coming up next. First, though, we do have some breaking news to pass along. Take a good look at the picture of this little boy. Detroit police are trying to find his parents. You might have to look a little closer because the photograph's a little dark. The boy, who's believed to be 1.5 years old, found wandering in the area of Plymouth and Warwick on Detroit's west side. If you know this boy or his parents, police want to hear from you. We'll be right back. The Golden Globe nominations are out, and a hot NBC show is getting some love from the Foreign Press Association. The Globes honor the best in movies and television. The musical La La Land is the movie with the most nominations. It's up for 7 awards, including Best Musical or Comedy. The new NBC drama, This Is Us, scored 3 nominations, including Best TV Drama. That show getting a lot of attention. Actress Mandy Moore and Chrissy Metz, who play mother and daughter on the show, are both nominated for Best Supporting Actress. The awards will be handed out on January 8th right here on Local 4. Well, this story is trending. Elton John is teaming up YouTube for a video contest involving 3 of his greatest songs. He's challenging people to come up with videos for Rocket Man, Tiny Dancer, and Benny and the Jets. Those songs, believe it or not, came out when singers didn't make music videos. The contest starts today. A panel of judges will choose the winners. All entries are due by January 23rd. Winners will get $10,000 for future video projects. We did post a link to more information at clickondetroit.com. We know we have a lot of creative folks in the Metro Detroit area, so go for it. It's on the entertainment page.
Do people still watch music videos? Didn't those go away?
You know what? I don't think you're right. I haven't watched them lately, but I guess now if I knew there was like an Elton John one, I would.
Go back and watch it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually like the old ones. The old ones are fun, don't you think?
Yeah.
I don't know. Here's the photo from the White House that is trending online. President Obama playing a little golf with actor Bill Murray. And yes, they're in the Oval Office. The White House posted the photo on Sunday. The president tweeted, "Generally, I don't let Cubs fans into the Oval Office." As you know, the president is more of a White Sox fan. Still ahead, do you know someone who goes overboard with Christmas decorations? You haven't seen anything until you see what is inside this house. We'll show you next.
He was a young family man who found success working at Chrysler. He was passionate about cars just like his grandfather. They shared a unique bond.
Got the phone call. We rushed to the place where he was robbed.
Until one night when he was gunned down at a party, murdered over a pair of Cartier glasses.
She said, "Book is gone. They done shot him. They shot him."
Tonight at 11, who shot this young man 8 times and what they left behind at the crime scene that even investigators found puzzling.
Diamonds.
Finally, first at 4. On the outside, the house you're about to see, it looks pretty normal, right?
Yeah, you can see a few Christmas lights on the home, but look inside. A couple in Germany decorate, oh my goodness, look at this. Just about every square inch of their home. There are more than 100 Christmas trees in there.
They say it's about 16,000 decorations. They start decorating in early October, and only their bedroom is Christmas free. We're told that there's even a Santa Claus toilet seat. We didn't get video of that. I don't don't really think you need a Santa Claus toilet seat.
Yeah,
I kind of stopped my holiday decorations from the bathroom. Well, actually, no, I do have something in there, but I don't have that. Sorry, I'm wandering. Thanks so much for joining us first at 4. We're back in a half hour with Local 4 News at 5. Inside Edition is next.